Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to the technical session 2A. Myself, Priyanshi Goyal, and this session will be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 8th International Conference on Information and Communication Technology for Intelligent Systems, ICTIS 2024, Ahmedabad, India. The 8th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was organized in Ahmedabad, India on 4th April 2024, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom today, that is 5th April 2024. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions through the day. In this session, we have 10 presentations. Each presenter will be given 8 minutes for the presentation and 2 minutes for question and answers. On 7 minutes, I'll raise a gentle reminder. There's another request to all the participants that you all stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or update, then you can write it to me in the chat box. Also, kindly stay muted while the other people are presenting. Just before we get started, I would like to introduce you all to the chair for this session, Dr. Nilesh Sable. Dr. Nilesh Sable has over 15 years of academic experience, presently working as SPPU approved associate professor in the Department of Information Technology, Vishwakarma Institute of Information Technology, Pune, India. He has done a PhD in computer science and engineering from Kalinga University, Raipur, on research problem statement, study on relationship standard mining calculations in data mining. He is SPPU approved PhD research guide and has published 50 plus papers in national, international conferences and journals. He had filed and published 14 patents and 3 copyrights. He is the author of a couple of books with an international publisher like Lambert. We are very happy to have you with us today, sir. Would you like to share any welcome remarks with the participants for today?
Thank you for the invitation, and I would like to express my gratitude towards GR Foundation for organizing such a good event, that too in a series of, like, it is the eighth one which is going on for ICTIS. So all the best for rest of the participants, those who are going to present the paper today. Most probably, I will be happy to hear you exactly what exactly your contributions are in the current research, what you are going to publish. So very keen to listen from you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Right before we start, I'll also like to request all the participants to kindly open their camera when they're presenting and answering the questions. Okay. Now, without further ado, let's start with the session for today. The first presenter for today is Shravani Gulane, presenting the paper titled Two-Way Hand Sign Talk System. Do we have you here with us, Shravani?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll stop presenting. You can start your presentation.
So, good morning to all. So, the title of this presentation today goes as Two-Way Hand Sign Talk System. So, the authors of this research are Professor Suvarna Bhagwat, Hemakshi Loya, Yash Aire, Atharva Doble, and myself, Shravani Gullane. So, the contents in today's presentation would be abstract, objective, motivation, scope, limitation, and some of the diagrams that I would like to explain. So the abstract goes as a two-way hand sign, real-time sign language translator that can translate spoken language into sign language and vice versa is used in this suggested research. The system uses CNN for feature extraction, segmentation, learning intricate patterns, and other tasks, and some of the Python libraries like OpenCV and for the parallel processing capabilities. The anticipated outcome involves the better assimilation of educational accessibility and affordability. The objective of our research was to develop a real-time translation system that accurately translates sign language into the spoken natural language and vice versa. The second objective was to create a user-friendly interface that allows for the communication between the deaf and mute individuals and the non-sign language users. Also, to partner with organizations that serve the deaf and mute community to provide training and support for the technology. Also to promote awareness and understanding of the challenges faced by the deaf and mute community and advocate for the needs in day-to-day life. So from where did we get the motivation for this research? The deaf and mute community usually faces significant challenges in their day-to-day life due to the lack of accessibility to spoken language and sound tools. Simple tasks like ordering food or asking for directions can be daunting without proper communication tools for them. So this research aims to close this communication gap between the hearing and the non-hearing groups in this situation. So developing software or applications that can recognize and interpret sign language gestures, allowing deaf individuals to communicate more easily with those who do not understand the sign language. By providing access to these communication tools and technology, this project aims to empower individuals within the deaf and mute community to communicate more effectively and confidently in various social and everyday situations, like I mentioned before, ordering food or asking for directions. This empowerment can lead to greater independence, improved social interactions between the two groups, and increased participations in activities that were previously challenging due to these communication barriers. In addition to developing technology, this research is in future may also involve educational initiatives and awareness campaigns to educate both the communities of the deaf and mute and also the hearing community about the importance of communication, accessibility, and inclusivity. So I will explain the use case of this paper. So firstly, the normal user of the technology would be able to log in or register and then select out of the two buttons that would be included in the page, that are to convert the hand sign language to natural spoken language. We have used Indian Sign Language dataset for this research. Or the second button would be to convert spoken language as an input of voice or text to the hand sign language. Also, the admin of this technology would be able to train the model of the newly added data sets and would also able to update the system as per the requirements. The next is the proposed system. So this is exactly what our proposed system is. The user would be able to log in or register. Then they would be landing on a page. The two buttons would be displayed over there. So the button one would, as I previously mentioned, would be to convert hand sign language to natural language. So when this button is selected, the webcam can get started and they are ready for the hand sign recognition. If the user selects the button 2, they are to convert hand sign language to simulation or image. The user can input the voice or they can input a text, and then the model designed will give a correct corresponding hand sign video image. And after the task is completed, the window would be closed. So here is some of the scope that I would like to talk about this research. The goal of this project was to create a software that can convert sign language into speech and text in real time with accuracy. So we have made the most recent developments in machine learning tools to accomplish this goal. By applying machine learning, we use data sets with hand sign language videos, transcripts, and natural language sentences and hand sign videos to train this system and to make it possible for those who are deaf or mute to communicate more effectively and to engage more completely in this society. So here are some limitations and challenges that we faced while preparing for the same. So one of the main limitations is the accuracy of the translations. So accurately recognizing and interpreting sign language gestures is challenges due to variation in styles, speed, and individual preferences, particularly in real-time scenarios, as these sign language changes from distance to distance. Another challenge was developing in this technology was the complexity of the task. That hand sign language is a complex language with its own unique grammar and vocabulary. So designing a system that accurately translates a diverse range of sign languages using this complex grammar is due to varying vocabulary and syntaxes across various regions was the main complexity. Also, there are quite limited data sets regarding the sign language. And therefore, machine learning models, there we need a large data set to train for the same. The next was lack of expertise. The application requires a multidisciplinary approach involving expertise in computer vision, machine learning, linguistics, and human-computer interaction to address. So here are some of the libraries that we used for developing the software. These Python libraries include NumPy, Pandas, OS, Seaborn, Keras, TensorFlow, sklearn, Glob, ShuttlePill, PyTTS, Tinketer,
This is
TextBlock.
a gentle 1 minute reminder.
Yeah. So here is the diagram that explains how the sign language to voice text conversation takes place. Taking and storing data sets as alphabets and number, then they are further used for data sets to process. And then we created a CNN algorithm to train the algorithm, and then the outputs are presented to the user. Voice to text sign language goes as we have created some GIF files and alphabets, which can recognize the user's voice or text and convert them to the text to words. And as the user searches, it can give output regarding the same. So here is the conclusion that the creation and execution of the system that smoothly translates between Indian Sign Language and spoken language using these AI-driven algorithms, as I mentioned, CNN, represents a turning point in the deaf and mute communities' communication and concerns of the day-to-day life. This technical advancement is a game-changing, definitely solution that bridges the gap between the two various modes of communications, improving the quality of life for the people who are deaf and mute. The ability of this system to convert spoken sign language and vice versa has enormous promise. This technology function as a conduct for those who are fluent in spoken language but are inexperienced with Indian Sign Language, or we can say sign languages, effortlessly transforming their words into understandable sign language images so that the normal user can also understand it. At the same time, person who use ISL as their primary way of communication can express themselves to the non-hearing community through gestures, which the system accurately interprets and renders into spoken sign language or writing. So here I would like to conclude. Thank you.
Yes, nice presentation. Uh, can you differentiate your work from the existing work which is being done? Because there are n number of papers who have already proposed this system and done the work on this. So what is
Uh,
difference between your system and the system which is already existing?
Actually, the current systems mostly present, if the user inputs a text, they present the sign language as an image. But we have here tried to present it as a video or a GIF form. And the next that we introduced recently was to recognize the sign language. There are very less number of developments who recognize sign language. We get a webcam on and then we can present our sign language, and then the user gets a output in the form of a text so that the non-hearing community can understand it. So this is the major difference that we introduced, is that hand sign language to normal spoken language. This is not a development that is currently in the trend.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving forward, before moving forward, I would like to request all the participants to be ready with their presentations so that whenever your name is called, you can present your presentation soon so that the whole session can go smoothly and there are no time delays. Now I would like to call Akshaya VS to present her paper titled Adopting ChatGPT in Education, an UTAUT2 based study on the factors influencing Indian graduate students' behavioral intentions. Do we have you here?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes. I can hear you.
Let me share the presentation.
Yes. Okay, it's visible. You may start presenting now. Akshay, you're on
Yeah.
mute. We cannot hear you.
Yes. Now it's fine. Is it good?
Yes, yes.
So thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity for presenting in the ICDA. So it was a great pleasure to present here with one of the most prominent mentees. So shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, you can start. Also, can you be a little louder? We're not able to
Okay.
hear you properly.
Okay, ma'am. So our project was. Can you hear me, ma'am, right now? Okay. Our project was about on the adopting ChatGPT in education. It was a UTAT-2 based study on the factors which is influencing, especially the Indian graduate students and on their behavioral intentions. So moving on to moving to our project. Yes. Not changing. Ma'am, was the slides changing or not? Can you please confirm that?
Sorry,
Or
नहीं
was it?
आपका slide change नहीं हुआ है.
Okay.
It's still the same.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Now change. Now change.
Okay. Then what is actually ChatGPT? How we are all know about ChatGPT, and it was AI which technology which has been which has been steadily evolving and becoming increasingly prevalent in various areas of the life, especially our daily life, especially in the life of the Indian graduates. So the development in this field is about currently it is about ChatGPT, which is a chat bot which is by the OpenAI that utilizes the conversational AI. So the ChatGPT, which is which functions as a digital assistant, and it can answer the questions, explain concepts, and create study materials and all. So it generally generates a text based on image and text inputs, providing personalized assistance and feedback. However, the key issues like insufficient resources, mismatched use cases, inadequate regulations, and such kind of data security concerns, their reliability issues, and poor conversation design remain unexplored. So the reason why we choose to because there should be much more mismatched, insufficient resources, especially in the case of ChatGPT. So for identifying the issues and solve the issues, we would like to depend on this project, and therefore it is crucial to examine the much more concerns surrounding the use of ChatGPT. So the literature review for that, we just focused on the UTAT-2 theory, self-efficacy theory, and about innovation and diffusion theory. And the UTAT-2 theory, why we selected because it helps to understand and predict the individual's acceptance and use of technology. And it actually UTAT-2 theory, which examines the elements, extra elements as behavioral intentions, habits, hedonic motivation, social influence, performance expectancy, the effort expectancy, and the facilitating conditions. So the result, which confirms the UTAT-2 theory, which explains about from our studies itself, and when we do the literature reviews, it's about 29.5% of the variance in the student intentions to use the new technology. Moving to the self-efficacy theory, it focuses on individuals' beliefs in their capabilities to perform the task, emphasizes self-perceptions as a predictor of behavior, and addressing the connection between between the self-efficacy and the outcome expectancy. So the next theory which we involved in, just utilized in our study is about innovation and diffusion theory. It simply means examines the adoption and spread of innovation with a society or a group. So such like when the mobile phones, when it entered the global market, no one foresaw their immense impact. So these kind of understanding should be made based upon this innovation and diffusion theory. The next thing, like we rely on the hypothesis, it's about mobile efficacy simply means one's ability of the person to use a mobile device effectively. Next, and we can just put the hypothesis of mobile self-efficacy. It has a direct and significant impact on the effort expectancy, and self-efficacy has a direct and insignificant impact on the personal innovativeness. So we were actually elaborating on things further more contents in the remaining slides itself. Then effort expectancy is the next one. It means the ease and comfort experienced while interacting with the technology. And the hypothesis which we put where effort expectancy has a direct and significant impact in the performance expectancy. Next hypothesis is performance expectancy, and it has a direct and significant impact on the behavioral intention. So the final one is habit and personal innovativeness. Habit having a direct hope from the diagram itself, it has a direct and significant impact on behavioral intentions, and personal innovativeness has a direct and significant impact on the habit. So the research methodology, which were utilized as a normal survey-based approach, and we just distributed the Google Forms questionnaire without allowings, especially Indian students, about 150 responses which were collected, and we took the method of probability sampling. And for variable measurement, these hypotheses, which were these variables, which were already I mentioned about, we used the Likert scale with 7 points, which was used for the measurement of these variables, and statistical tool, ELSSM, which was chosen for our study, and it was ELSS 4.0 software, which was used for the analysis. Then the analysis and result. I hope it's clear from the diagram itself. So it's like the measurement model criteria, which we utilize the composite reliability and average variance extracted, and we just find out for each variable, we just round out the the figure from the analysis, and it indicates that it is a satisfactory reliability, discriminant validity assessment, and furthermore, we just use a formal lateral criterion was used for the discriminant validity assessment. Moving to these table 2, which were actually being the result of from the table 1, and its values.
Gentle 1 minute reminder.
Yes, the values confirm that it adherence to the discriminant validity requirement, sufficient convergent internal consistency. Moving to the moving to the conclusion, with the link of rejection of the time, I'm just moving to the conclusions as like from our studies itself. The main purpose of the study is just to understand the students' overall impression of using ChatGPT for their educational purposes. So this study utilizes certain variable which is already I mentioned about. So in the future, using the we utilize the longitudinal data in research projects, which could help to examine the causal pathways and its possible dynamic linkages. So all things considered through our examination and clarification, we just found out that the personal innovativeness has a positive impact on the habit and vice versa for the same thing. And the study just aim to understand this students' overall impression. So using this platform, even we were also students. So as a part of that, we were much more interested to know about what are the concerns of the other students. So, but the limitation which we exceeded, it's like it is for our current PG time period. It is just relied on cross-sectional data used to may limit our ability to establish such kind of cause and effect of the relationship between which the variables which we use. So we couldn't even much more engage in observing much more variables. So the time limitation, which was a greater threat for us. So the findings which also indicates that the students can even use the platform, which is in a good and beneficial way. Most of them relies on this platform, especially for the emergency cases. So that's it, ma'am. That is all about the presentation. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Go to your title slide.
Yes, sir.
So whether ChatGPT can be a curse or it can be what we can say in the faith of education.
from the students, when we do the research from the students' viewpoint, they were simply like relying on this platform, whether they were not using their creative mindset or any ideas putting into their education platform. So maybe maybe the professors even utilizing it as a beneficial thing. But in our opinion, as like every platform it has its own negatives and positives. That's it. So when we are using this platform in a good method, not only the AI, not only even like confined to a, not only for a chat GPT things, it was a vast area. So especially in that vast like platform, chat GPT can be considered as a good platform for using the relevant and important things, especially in the much
Can
more
you
research.
precisely tell role of prompt engineering in this?
Sorry, sir. Can you please
Can
repeat?
you precisely tell role of prompt engineering in this adapting chat GPT in education?
The prompt engineering, like the things which were like like what make us used in the platform, it's make it easy for the users to obtain the relevant result in the first prompt. So the engineer from the technical background, it was like it was explained in the from the research, it's like to obtain for the better result in the first prompt, they were utilizing the such kind of prompt methods in the platform. So it helps to like mitigate the bias that may be present from the like existing human bias in the large language models training data. So it enhances the user, the AI interaction so that the AI can understand the user's intentions even with minimal output. For reducing the like efforts in putting the maximum output to the for the prompt, we can utilize this as a criteria. So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Akshaya. Moving forward, I would like to invite Jay Vagela to present his paper titled An AI-powered writing assistant using natural language processing approach. Do we have you here with us, Jay?
Yes, I'm here. Just a moment.
Sure.
Yes, is the screen visible?
Yes, the screen is visible. You may start
Okay.
presenting.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jay Vaghela, and I'm presenting my research paper titled An AI-powered writing assistant using natural language processing approach. This paper was written by Professor Nishad Sheikh, myself, and Sagar Bhanushali. So let's just start into it. Okay, this is the outline of my presentation where I'll be including all these points in my presentation. First, let's move to introduction. As we all know that writing is an essential communication medium where and we have been using it since the get-go, since we were children. And whether it is academic writing, content creation, or any social media engagement, writing may require a lot of effort, creativity, and time because it has to be provided in the best way possible. But unfortunately, many people struggle with writing due to language and cultural barriers, and also poor writing skills that may lead to misunderstanding and misinterpretation, and even lost opportunities in the jobs. But in the recent advances in AI and NLP, technologies have become available to provide language translation, sentiment analysis, and speech recognition, and many other forms of services. My proposed system explores an AI-powered writing assistant made with technologies like transformers and LLMs such as GPT-2 and BART, and it shows a role in significantly improving writing skills, productivity, and also provide recommendations for effective communication. Now, my paper mainly produce three functionalities such as text paraphrasing, where we can input text and it can be rewritten while maintaining the original meaning. Also, it can be used to easily read the original text. Second is text summarization, which is creation of a short and accurate summary of a longer text document. We all use this to cut short time and also accurately know the meaning of the reference text. Third one is text generation, where we can quickly create a coherent and contextually text relevant text from a simple from any domain using the reference text. Now, this is the motivation for my project. Like people who have poor communication skills, they need a suitable substitute to generate and write text data for communication needs. Second is save time and effort. We can use text paraphrasing and text summarization to reduce the effort needed to understand text. Also, it helps to improve business and content marketing. it enhances clarity and readability of the text, and also it can help in facilitating learning and understanding among students using text generation abilities. This is the architecture of my proof system. First, we input the data or text in natural language. Then pre-processing is applied on the text, like tokenization. And that pre-processed text is sent into three systems where Pegasus, GPT-2, and BART models respectively do text paraphrasing, text generation, and text summarization. And then the output is generated. Now, first for methodology, Pegasus is a Hugging Face model, which is improved by Google, and it is used, which uses which is pre-fine-tuned for paraphrasing text. And in Pegasus, important sentences are removed and masked from input the document, and they are generated together as an one output, while the remaining sentence are also put together from the original text. It's kind of similar to extractive summary, and it's also stated in its original form. For text generation task, GPT-2 is used, which is introduced by OpenAI. And GPT-2 is a very good transform model with 1.5 billion parameters, and it was pre-trained almost entirety of the internet in a large corpus of English data. GPT-2 generates synthetic text samples in response to the model being primed with an arbitrary input. And through autogression training, the model gains the ability to predict the next word in the phrase based on the context of the previous word. For text summarization tasks, we have used BART, which is upgraded on a better version for BERTs. And BART's transformer-based neural machine translation architecture can be seen as, a generalization of BERT and GPT, where the abilities of BERT, such as bidirectional encoder, and of GPT, such as left-to-right decoder, and also other approaches are used in that. And BART is intended for a very wide range of natural language processing applications with text prediction, translation, understanding. This is a result of my project. And such as, for example, we used take the input. This is a Python notebook for paraphrasing using Pegasus SOTA model, and it changes to the Pegasus SOTA model is used in this notebook, where I have used a blue and rouge metrics for assessing the performance of the model, where it showed this data. And the inference we can take from the resultant data output is that the paraphrase text is very understandable because it has a zero point 0.5 range of blue score, and it's low to moderately overlap with the reference text, as the Rouge L metric is 0.03. Next is summarized text with valuation metrics, such as if we take the input of second, such as in the urban heat bit and that paragraph, it changes the captivating urban city shows the resilience of humans and the different cultures that converge to create an existence. Now, the result text does not show any resilience or any similarity between the input text, so it has a low Rougeal sum of 0.81. And we can also see that it is very bad quality summary and has low similarity with the reference text. Next is generated text with valuation metrics, such as if we write Pythonist, then it will generate the resultant prompt, like this Python is programming language designed to easy to use, and the resultant text. Now the Bluert score, I have used Bluert's metric for this, is minus 0.532. And we can see the generated text is of moderate quality, and it's actually quite good with reference to the input text. Now, this is the conclusion and future work. My project has shown that AI-powered writing assistant can be effectively used to improve writing skills and productivity, but it is important to know the ethics of using such tools, and we can be aware of the limit. I need to be aware of the limitations. And the future work for this system includes that to resolve the potential bias that may arise in the output due to biases. And next one is fine tuning the model to optimize for specific business and jobs. Incorporate customization features for individual writing preference, such as creative mode or actual text mode, and including a user feedback system. These are the references for my project and questions now.
See what you have told in that. What is your major contribution? Because what I have seen, you are having inbuilt models for this. So what
Yes,
is
sir.
your major contribution in this regards?
Also, I have fine-tuned the Pegasus model for using paraphrasing.
What it is? Can you go back
Okay, so I have used the Pegasus model and fine-tuned it for paraphrasing.
for paraphrasing? Because the
Yes, sir.
models which you have used, they are,
Yes, sir. They are already there, and
yes.
people have done work on them. Yes, sir. And for
And
more that, but the issue was that I wasn't able to find much work in these models, and like they have not optimized for specific business and tasks. That's why I thought, okay, I should take a bit more step.
okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Uh, Coming up next, I would like to invite Arun to present his paper titled Barriers to Sustainable Supply Chain Management in Food Processors MSME, a total interpretive structural modeling approach. Do we have you here with us, Arun?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll stop presenting and then you can present your paper.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
It's visible. You may start the presentation.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arun. I'm happy to present my research on barriers to sustainable supply chain management in food processing MSME, a total interpretive structural modeling approach. So, our research focuses on the challenges faced by MSME in implementing sustainable supply chain management practices. The MSME sector in India makes a contribution of around 30% of the nation's GDP and contribute about 40% of the total exports of India. But they face several obstacles in adopting sustainable practices due to lack of awareness, limited resources, and other factors. To identify the barriers that hinders sustainable supply chain adoption, we have used a qualitative research approach and total interpretive structural modeling. By shedding the light of these obstacles, the study aims to help MSME overcome them and embrace sustainable practices that benefit both the environment and their bottom line. So, if we see the literature gap, these are the gaps related to SSCM and MSME that have identified from existing literature.
Your slide is not
There are,
changing. You are stuck at the first slide itself.
uh, sorry, is it
No, it is on the first slide only. Yes, now
okay, sir?
it will change. Start presenting.
So,
Yes.
is it visible now?
Yes, fine.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you, sir. So, these are the gaps reflected to SSCM and MSME that I have identified from the existing literature. There is limited research on SSCM practices, specifically focus on food processing MSME. Having highlighted these limitations, additionally there is a need for the in-depth investigation into the challenges faced by MSME in adopting the eco-friendly approaches. Furthermore, there is a lack of comprehensive framework tailored to their smaller organizations. And this gap presents a significant research opportunity. Conducting studies can help us understand the barriers and enablers of SSM implementation in food processing MSMEs. Developing contextualized models and strategies as proposed in the existing literature can facilitate the integrations of sustainable practices through MSME. Moreover, contributing to these bodies of knowledge of MSME and SSCM can have a lasting impact on this field. So the main our research question is, what is the key barriers to sustainable supply chain management in micro, small, medium enterprises in the food processing industry, and how do they interact? So, looking into the research methodology, our research is designed in a qualitative method focusing on TISM. Our study population involves MSME in food processing sectors. The primary data was collected through uh, semi-structured interviews from the industrial experts. and secondary data was collected from the websites and other reports. We have used TSM methodology. By doing literature review, we have identified 18 criteria that has influenced SSCM in MSME. From that, we have identified a major barrier, and with the help of experts' opinion, we have categorized it into 9 key barriers. Then we have created a yes/no matrix to visualize the relationship between the barriers. Then we have developed the initial reachability matrix to present direct influence between the barriers. Then we incorporate transitive links to enhance the accuracy and representation of complex relationship. And finally, we have partitioned the barriers into level wise in different sections such as reachability sets, antecedent sets, and intersection sets. So uh, our findings reveals that the top three barriers to sustainability are lack of green purchasing practice, limited green packaging opportunities, and insufficient recycling practices. These barriers are interrelated, suggesting that addressing any one may positively impact the other. So our study emphasizes the need for policymakers and regulatory bodies to provide more significant supports and interactive for MSME to adopt sustainable practices. So, as a conclusion, our research contribute to the understandings of the barriers of sustainable supply chain management in MSME in the food processing industry to provide insights that we have guide the development of strategies and policymakers to provide more sustainability in the in this sector. So, thank you.
Can you tell how exactly you have measured this?
Yes, sir. So we have used a TSM approach in which we have taken a literature review from which we have identified the 18 key barriers which are influencing
What
the.
was the quantity of reviews you have taken? What is the
So we
count?
have taken 29 MSME sectors, sir.
Okay, fine. Huh?
So as in for the TSM methodology, we required count a minimum less than the 30 data sets. So we have taken 29 MSMEs. From that we have interviewed the many industrial experts like CEOs and owners and operations managers. From them we have categorized our 18 criteria into 9 key barriers.
Okay,
Then
fine.
we have again, yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure, sir.
Thank you, Arun. Now,
Thank you, ma'am.
now I would like to invite Shipra Verma to present her paper titled Critical Analysis Review Paper on Android Ballot System Utilizing Python. Do we have you here with us, Shipra?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll stop sharing my screen and you can present yours.
Okay. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. You may start presenting.
Oh, okay, ma'am. So hello and good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to have here. And so my topic is for the research paper is critical analysis review paper on Android ballot system. So basically, as we all know, the what is a ballot system. Then let me give you an outline what I will explain. Firstly I will explain introduction, existing approaches which have we done, problems, and methodology, then result and conclusion. uh, as like in recent years that technology is increasing day by day lives, and all lives has been changing as per the technology. But as we have seen that a voting system is unless now it's in a traditional way. So from this system, I just wanted to give it a technological aspect to a voting system to address these problems and enhance the current voting system. Our goal is to create online voting system with an Android application that will increase system security and make it simpler. And it will be easy to use and mobile accessible and accessible from anywhere in the country or out of the country. You can vote whenever there is election going on. And we will also discuss the current voting system and benefits of Android voting system, its architecture, security, features, and conclusion. Sorry. Existing approaches. This study approaches the improvement of voting system to the next generation by adding the Android version to make it more reliable and efficient. The current system did not give users a method to obtain information about the candidates. And the framework that we put will be GSM technology, which is also used in existing approaches, but it's a little bit difficult and it's showing some OTP failures and these like they have prepared the cast ballot system after IVR verification. They can vote via madam. That also offers an internet voting mechanism that uses system-generated OTP and iris verification. The framework will provide an overview of the mobile-based online voting system. An investigation is if internet voting is possible in the future and shows the viability of several forms of the internet voting from both the technical and sociological perspective. Briefly, the remote voting system was divided in two categories: vote online or kiosk voting. Problems. There were problems. These were the problems in existing system. The security issues, convenience and accessibility, simple interference, flexibility in size, and OTP failures. Like security issues, there were many risks of many risks, including identity theft, tampering with votes, and illegal access. A convenience and accessibility. It can be more difficult for many voters to physically go with voting places, particularly during pandemic for those who with mobility impairment. Simple interval complex information and procedures can lead to a loss of interest in the voting system. Flexibility. The voting system needs to be built to manage many users, particularly when voting is at its busiest. OTP failures in existing approaches. There were so many cases of OTP failures and authentication difficulties. The SMS was not sent for the verification of OTPs and biometrics were rejected. This is our proposed methodology. My proposed methodology introduces novel approach to enhance security, usability, and accuracy in an Android voting system. This methodology incorporates facial recognition, hand gesture recognition, SMS voting, machine learning process, and OTP verification. The suggested approach is quite technological and highly automated. Not only that you may vote in the system while seated at home, but you can also read the voting related rules and laws. Conversely, you can also view each nominee description, providing information about their background, educational, and personal life. My proposed method includes multi-modal biometric authentication, user verification, SMS voting, enhanced security, and user-specific candidates, real life, and many privacy and security measures. And this is the use case for our system. Firstly, it will start with the and it will show the login using your unique. You will given your unique ID which you have. Then it will send the OTP on your phone. Either it will be yes or no. If it's a no, then it will in the process. If yes, proceed, it will open a ballot, and then you can vote there. and then it will check that if you have already voted or not. If yes, if not voted, then it will voted, if it will end, and if you have not voted, it will count your vote and end the result. The result of our study is an Android-based ballot system brings numerous benefits to the table. It not only improves the efficiency and accuracy of the voting process, but also enhances the overall user experience. With its robust security measures and reliable system architecture, it can be a game changer in the world of election. As we have seen from the real world implementation examples, it has the potential to revolutionize the way we conduct election. Therefore, it is a high time for us to embrace the technology and move towards the more secure and efficient voting system. This is a study proposed is an online voting system that utilizes one-time password and watchword security for those with authorization to adjust. They attempted to pay tribute to the mobile phones, which will be integrated into framework with more enthusiasm. Conclusion. In conclusion, this method will provide with us with the highest level of security through OTP verification. With the aid of following voting technology, anyone can easily access their ballot from a distance. This will improve voter propensity to wallet and yield better outcomes. An Android-based real-life e-voting system was proposed in this. It will undoubtedly be beneficial to the people who want to vote, and utilize this program will make voting simpler. Since the electronic voting system automatically counts the vote, it can minimize the instance of manual recounts, and the outcome demonstrate how user-friendly and effective our technology. These were the references which I used in my paper. And any questions?
What practical difficulties we will face to implement this? Can you precisely brief it?
Sir, can you please repeat?
What practical difficulties we will face if we want to bring this system into practice?
It will be like maybe OTP failures, or maybe authentication, but we will provide the security and OTP with it, where we the other methods to get OTP, like if it's not coming through SMS, then it will like on the email or the alternate number, or the phone call from that. These were the like these
Then
practical
why government is not going for this? Because there are many loopholes in the system which you have presented. Can you note that any one of the major loophole?
Sir, sir,
Okay,
loophole
fine.
I can.
Okay, fine, no issues. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Shipra.
Thank you, Kavit.
I would now like to invite the next presenter for today, Krishna Saxena, to present his paper titled Decoding the Neural Nexus Exploring Explainable AI's Vital Link to Transparent Decision Making. Do we have you here with us, Krishna?
Yes, ma'am.
You are not audible properly. Can you speak a little loudly?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Okay. Yes, you're audible now. You can start presenting.
Ma'am,
Yes,
screen
your
is-
presentation is visible. You may start your presentation.
Okay. Good morning, esteemed chairs, session chairs, delegates, and distinguished guests. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this session where I am going to present my research work on the topic Decoding Neural Nexus, Exploring Explainable AI's Vital Link to Transparent Decision Making. So these are my authors and co-authors for the research paper I've been working on: Manas Agarwal, Abhinav Ghosh, Shagun Mayank, and Kashish. So we will go by some introduction in which we will start from evolution of AI from George Boole to modern deep learning techniques. So it all started when George Boole, a 19th century English mathematician and philosopher, developed symbolic logic, laying the foundation for modern computers. His work, known as Boolean algebra, is fundamental to computer science and artificial intelligence. Then, in the 20th century, electronic computers revolutionized AI, enabling faster calculations and logical problem solving. In 1950, Alan Turing and Maverick Minsky explored creating a machine that could think like humans. Electronic machines developed by Alan Turing and Maverick Minsky in the 1950s can perform complex calculations and solving logical problems faster than humans. So now introducing to artificial intelligence and deep learning. So as we know, artificial intelligence employs a deep learning and machine learning to efficiently solve modern problems and complex problems faster than humans by spanning by helping multiple industries in finance and healthcare as well. And machine learning, it is a rapidly advancing field in computer science, enhancing user experiences in platforms like Netflix and Spotify, where it can give us our some more references according to our watches and according to the music we listen. It gives us new recommendations according to our choices. And deep learning is a type of machine learning that uses large neural networks to learn the data from directly enabling computer to recognize patterns and decision making. So there are many significance of explainable AI. In explainable AI, we will explain that how the AI make decision. It is not biased because it is very important for financial and as well as healthcare industry to see that from where the decision and from where the prediction is been coming. So now my co-author Abhinav is going to tell you the impact of deep learning in AI advanced.
Good morning, everyone. Abhinav Gaur this side, and I'm going to explain about the topic, the impacts and challenges with deep neural networks. Some of the impacts and advancements include advancement in natural learning processes, acceleration in drug research, and autonomous vehicles. Deep neural networks are often seen as black boxes due to their lack of interpretability, which pose a challenge. Techniques like LIME offer local interpretability by fitting simple models into perturbed data, while layer-wise relevance propagation and GradCam provide insights into model decisions. However, DNNs remain vulnerable to attacks mitigated by methods like FGS. Stochastic activation pruning introduces randomness to maximize defense against attacks. Lack of trust in prediction is addressed by shape, ensuring interpretable insights using shapely values.
Now my co-author Manas Agarwal will be going to explain some applications of explainable AI.
Good morning, everyone. Manas Agrawal here. Today, I will be delving into the applications of explainable AI and its significance in various domains. Explainable AI and XAI refers to capability of AI systems to provide understandable explanations for their decisions and actions. This is crucial because as AI becomes increasingly integrated into various aspects of our lives, it is essential for users to comprehend why AI systems make the decision they do. Let's explore healthcare. Healthcare is an offer. AI offers AI in healthcare offers opportunities for better patient outcomes, but also possesses risk from unreliable models, leading to inappropriate interventions. To address this, explainable AI is crucial for transparent and effective medical decision making. The other application is BFSI, banking finance service industry. AI has transformed the BFSI sector through task automation, data analysis, and improved decision making. Its applications span customers onboarding, credit assessment, risk management, forecasting, crime detection, and cash management. The third application is in defense. AI and XAI revolutionizes military operations by boosting transparency and bridging civilian military tech gaps, enhancing strategic capabilities and detecting undercover agents. AI identifies and neutralizes malicious software, cutting reliance on physical resources, offering strategic advantages and saving time and cost. These are just a few examples of how XAI can be applied across various domains to enhance transparency, accountability, and trust in AI systems. As AI continues to evolve, the development and adoption of explainable AI techniques will play a crucial role in ensuring that AI technologies benefit society responsibly. Now my co-author Shagun will explain further.
Good day, everyone. I'll be discussing techniques of explainable AI, a concept aimed at making computer decisions easier to understand. Let's begin with LIME, or Local Interpretable Model Agnostic Explanations. Think of it as a tool that helps unravel the mystery behind the computer's decisions, making them more transparent and understandable. Moving on to LRP, or Layer-Wise Relevance Propagation. It acts like a detective, pinpointing the most crucial parts of the data that influence the computer's decisions. This simplifies the decision-making process for us to grasp. Lastly, we have rule-based explainable AI. It's akin to cracking a code, translating complex computer decisions into straightforward rules that we can easily comprehend. In summary, methods like LIME, LRP, and rule-based AI serve to enhance our understanding and trust in computer decisions, bridging the gap between complexity and clarity. Thank you.
Now my co-author Kashish will be telling about the challenges faced.
This is a gentle
Good afternoon,
one-minute
everyone.
reminder.
Today I will be discussing about the challenges that are offered by explainable AI. Explainable AI holds the promise of enhancing transparency in decision-making processes powered by artificial intelligence. However, there are several challenges that hinder the effectiveness of XAI in promoting transparent decision-making. Some of these challenges are data privacy and security, complexity of AI models, adversarial ads, and context sensibility. Overcoming these hurdles will pave the way for deeper insights into the working of human brain while ensuring transparency and accountability in AI-driven models. So, in summary, we can say that explainable AI is an important facilitator of AI, and it facilitates the transparent growth in industries like autonomous cars, despite challenges like performance tasks and legal concerns, promoting trust and responsibility in the AI environment. Thank you.
In conclusion, explainable AI stands as a transformative force in landscaping artificial intelligence, forecasting transparency, and trust in AI-driven decision making. I may welcome any questions or discussions on the insights shared today. Thank you for your attention.
Can you tell any practical application of explainable AI which is currently there?
So some practical applications of explainable AI mostly is used in like black boxes, which are very hard to explain. So explainable AI is used to explain these black boxes algorithm and make it much simpler.
Okay. Fine, thank you.
Thank you, team.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would now like to invite uh, Lubna Ansari to present her paper titled Guarding the Future: Anomaly Detection in IoT-Enabled Smart Cities. Do we have you here with us, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, I'll stop presenting the screen and you can then share yours.
My screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible. You may start presenting.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Dr. Lubna Ansari, and today I'm going to present Guarding the Future: Anomaly Detection in IoT-Enabled Smart Cities. So the topics that I'm going to cover will be the introduction, the literature review, the methodology that I use, the limitation, conclusion, finally the references. So let me quickly start the so first of all, we all are aware of the cloud computing. So it is a platform that is rapidly increasing at both the individual and the corporate levels, right? Now with the increase in the cloud computing, there's also increasing the security issue, right? So the growing intelligence and broad use of IoT devices benefits smart cities, education, entertainment, healthcare, tourism, and many more. Now we have a security issue in IoT devices, and it is frequently disregarded, putting users in danger and causing ecosystem imbalances. Now the IoT ecosystem, which consists of the network, application, server, they are also be impacted if it is hacked, right? If we, in other words, if the IoT is compromised by the destruction of only just one part of communication channel, the network could be partially or completely paralyzed. Then as a result, in addition to considering the convince that the IoT things offers, it is also important to take into the account of its accessibility. Now, the few solutions like signature-based technique, which has already been proposed and used. So they also have some problems, like they are actually being suggested to address energy use, network slowness in traffic. Now, a group of formally created signatures are compared to the most recent suspicious samples in the signature-based technique. Now, a text may go undetected or cause false alarm if the signature extraction approach is unable to fully convey the distinct features of the intrusion or the intrusion group. So some of the papers that I have been reviewed, so they are like this. So first of all, the paper which I reviewed is Malik, by the author Malik. Here, the transmission, the movement of data between the devices have been replicated by the IoT and the cloud computing. Now, they actually use a relationship between the devices, establishing cloud IoT integration for machine-to-machine communication and figuring out the security measures for the devices, right? It's a reliable and security connection between the cloud environment depends on a strong and a secure connection between the IoT device and the cloud. And also it is critical to preserve and machine-to-machine connectivity among IoT devices and the cloud. Then the next is the Devrajan. Now, due to its capacity to manage network congestion, latency, and geographical autonomy, fog computing is, which is a subset of cloud computing, is also very popular, and it has some issues which is covered here in this paper. So it has privacy and efficiency problem. The blockchain technology and secure federated learning in vehicle network, which is BSFLVN, are used in a system model for traffic flow prediction in urban computing to solve the problems. So with the help of this, a car devices can exchange the local learning updates with a blockchain-based minor verified global learning model. The next paper is by Hassan, and the infrastructure supporting the IoT is increasingly vulnerable.
Go ahead for your methodology.
Okay. So the methodology I have used, this is the suggested workflow of the approach. So we have the cloud, we have the IoT data, then we do some pre-processing, and after the pre-processing, we will do the feature extraction, which will comprise of two techniques, VCA and GA. Then we do the training, and finally we do the classification by random forest, and we can finally detect the intrusion attacks. So the data set that we use in our approach is UNSW NB15. It is actually a data set which has 9 types of attack, namely fuzzers, analysis, DOS, worms, and also CIC DS 2017 data set. It is consists of label network flows, including full packet payload. It is also in .cbc format. Then we did the pre-processing. So pre-processing is basically before feeding the data to machine learning, we do some filtering and prepare the data, right? So how we are going to do this? By using the SMOT approach. SMOT is actually synthetic minority oversampling technique. It is an oversampling technique where the synthetic samples are generated for the minority class. It deals with the imbalanced data set. So here we have some. So here we have some. Just a second. So yeah. So here we have some incorrect values, some missing values, which we are which we do some pre-processing to it. After that, we do the feature extraction. So feature extraction, we are going to use PCA and GA. PCA is a principal component analysis. It is an unsupervised learning algorithm technique, right? So It is a cutting-edge online function for machine learning that finds important characteristics and labeled for IoT application, both the strong one and the weak one. In IoT application, it is utilized for load balancing, enhancing communication bandwidth, and reducing time delay. Right. The PC algorithm primary goal is to extract the important characteristics from the structure and the unstructured IoT data set stored in the proposed model device layer. Right. Then we have the GA, that is the genetic algorithm. It is a class of computational approach that rely on the ideas of natural selection and evaluation. So we do have the general process of genetic algorithm, which includes we have the initial population, then we do the selection, then crossover, then mutation, right? So we have this process and it will do the future extraction. After that, we will do the training. The model is trained at this phase to determine the attacks on the network. And under attack data is constructed using enough samples of machine learning classifier to function better to address the problem of monetary classes. Then finally we do the classification of all the intrusion attacks. So for that we use the random forest. So random forest is actually a commonly used machine learning algorithm trademarked by Leo and Edley Cutler. This combines the output of multiple decision tree to reach a single result. It actually handles both the classified and regression problem. So to create more precise and stable forecasts, numerous decision trees are combined to create a random forest algorithm. And by choosing an arbitrary selection of characters and bootstrapping the database, every tree inside a random forest is individually built, right? So initially, the sample from the first training set T are used to produce the training set TI for every tree throughout the training phase. To construct every tree split, M features are then arbitrarily chosen and examined by the science to find which one is used for splitting purpose. We do have some limitation also. So there are several limitations using ML models into IoT system to improve security in smart cities. Initially, IoT of data is needed for ML model, and it is very challenging to gather and interpret the data from various IoT devices while maintaining the security and privacy. Implementing sophisticated ML algorithm in IoT context is also challenging at devices with minimal memory and processing capability frequently found in these settings. Additionally, we have some attacks which may be used against machine learning models in which malicious parties alter the input data to deceive the model and undermine the security product. So, however, a lot of machine learning algorithms lack interpretability and transparency, which makes them unreliable in critical security scenarios. So for that, to enhance it, we will be using deep learning algorithm in future to make it more secure and to enhance the presentation of the baseline method on the dataset. More work will be done in the future. So these are the references. And thank you so much.
It is just a review paper, right?
Yes, just a proposal.
Okay. What are your major findings in this review? Can you tell the limitations, only the limitations?
Sir, no, sir. Actually, if you combine, this is an innovative thing that earlier, so all the anomaly detection, they use either PCA, either genetic algorithm, or only some other techniques. But here, what I have done, I have used both the techniques. If both the techniques are employed, so we will be having more finite classification.
Have you implemented both the techniques?
No, sir. I have not.
Then it is just theoretical concept what
Yes,
you are
it's
presenting.
only a theoretical.
But from that also, at least you should come to some point that these are the major limitations of the current research work.
Yes, sir. So limitation I also discuss. So like here also we can see that there are many IoT devices and the data gathering is very difficult because we have multiple IoT devices and the data are in unstructured format. So from there we are having the data and then training
now we are having n number of projects of AI ML. So now it is not a concern like data gathering and getting it pre-processed.
Yes, sir. But for anomaly detection, maybe we need some more revisions in this proposed method, which I propose.
Okay, fine, fine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving forward, I would like to invite Sahana Ankar to present a paper titled Sensor Interfacing with Multicore Oryx TC397 board. Do we have you here with us, Sahana?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
I am not able to hear you. Can you speak a little louder?
Is it audible, ma'am? Now?
Yes, now it's audible.
Shall I share my screen?
Yes, you can share your presentation.
Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, your screen is visible. You may start presenting.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am Sahana Ankar, and I'm really delighted to be here today at the ICTS conference to present my paper titled Sensor Interfacing Using Multiple Oryx TC397 board. And the co-authors that have worked on this project along with me are Sriraksha, Varsha, Sahana Bhatt. So in this presentation, I'll be discussing In this presentation, I'll be discussing the approach of our team that is taken to interface sensors with the Oryx TC397 board, leveraging its multi-core architecture for efficient data processing and integration. So in this presentation, you'll be we'll be looking into abstract, introduction, motivation and objectives, and the implementation and the conclusion and future scope of our project. So this is the abstract of our project. This report describes the development of multi-core application using multi-core board, that is Oryx TC397 board, sensor interfacing on the Oryx board. So coming to the introduction, the main purpose of this project was to interface the sensors and to to explore on the multi-core architecture of the Oryx TC397 board. So it is a board that is special in automotive and industrial domains through its precise real-time data processing. So our main objectives revolved around harnessing the power of the Oryx TC397 board to interface with temperature and humidity sensors seamlessly. We aim to optimize hardware connections, core configurations, and data acquisition processes to ensure reliable real-time monitoring of environmental parameters. So coming to Tricore Oryx TC397 board, let's briefly introduce the Oryx TC397 board to you guys. So this microcontroller board developed by Infineon Technologies features a tricore architecture known for its high performance computing and real-time capabilities. It offers a range of interfaces including CAN, SPI, I2C, and Ethernet, making it ideal for a variety of applications, particularly in automotive and industrial sectors. So the sensors that we have used in this project are LM35 temperature sensor and DHT11 humidity sensor using a simple one-wire interface. So to accomplish our objectives, we use these all hardware products, and also we utilized Oryx development tool for software development and debugging purposes. So our methodology involved a systematic approach to hardware connections, core assignments to each and every sensor, data acquisition, and then the result display. We carefully outlined the steps involved in setting up the sensors, configuring codes, reading sensor data, combining the results, and displaying them on a terminal interface. So coming to the results of our project, we achieved efficient hardware connections, optimized core configurations, and reliable real-time data acquisition. This lays the foundation for advanced embedded system application across various domains.
We have done sensor interfacing on this Oryx TC397 board. In future scope, we can do image processing and all things we can perform on this board. So in conclusion, our paper demonstrates the potential of the Oryx TC397 board for sensor interfacing and real-time data processing. By following our methodology, developers can achieve reliable environmental monitoring in diverse applications. Future research could focus on refining interface protocols and optimizing data processing algorithms for even greater efficiency. So thank you for your attention. I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you. Nice presentation. No questions from my side.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sahana.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, moving forward, I would like to invite Kartika Vipin to present her paper titled Social Sector Expenditure and Human Development Evidence from Kerala. Do we have you here with us, ma'am?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible. I'll stop presenting so that you can present your paper.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Is the screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, the screen is visible.
Okay.
You may start presenting.
Okay, thank you. So, first of all, thank you so much and I'm also very happy to be a part of ICTIS. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to present my paper on social sector expenditure and human development, taking evidence from Kerala. So, moving to the paper, this is the agenda that's going to follow today. That is, we will look into what is social sector expenditure, human development, objective of the study, and some of the notable papers that have been taken here, and also the analysis, interpretation, conclusion, and suggestion following limitation and future scope. So let's see what is social sector expenditure and human development. Social sector expenditure refers to government spending or government expenditure on different sectors such as education, healthcare, social welfare, and also the other programs that the government initiated in order to, with the aim of improving the well-being and quality of life of the population of our country. So it plays a very, vital role in fostering human development and ultimately which means the improving people's lives by expanding their freedom, capabilities, and opportunities. So this paper analysis the public spending on the social sector and the state of human development in Kerala state. With regard to social sector development, Kerala falls in the category of better performing states with India. So, various reasons such as social movement and welfare government, with a history of making socially disadvantaged people mainstream, candidates contribute the high level of social formation. So, by analyzing the superior human development statistics achieved by Kerala, we further investigate its spending nature in the field of including its society, including its implication or various indicators for human development itself. So, moving to the objectives of the study, it's that to evaluate the impact and effectiveness of public spending in social sectors such as education, healthcare, social welfare, and rural development. To conduct an econometric analysis on social sector expenditure and human development and to find what its impact is. So next, I would like to show some of the notable papers that have paved the way or helped me to do my research. That is, some of the papers have mentioned, like Mukherjee and Chakrabarti 2011 paper has mentioned, looked into the issue that what is the impact of per capita social sector expenditure and development expenditure on HDI. And also it shows a result of weak correlation between government expenditure and social development. Following paper also shows a weak correlation between the government expenditure and social development. So all these papers have showed different results, or that makes my research more significant that all this have a importance in the study. So per capita incomes, certain studies shows that certain variable has more significant to HDI, but social sector expenditure is not significant. Then another study, Mohanty and Bhanumurthy 2018, they looked into the relationship and they also find a big correlation is there between government expenditure and development. Then another study of Bakshi in 2019, the author looks into the issue of state government's priority for human development in Gujarat. So there was a comparison of budgetary allocation to the social sector and different sectors. And then one more study, that is Ramesh Chandra Das and Chanda Mandal and Arun Kumar Patra. Those authors looked into the linkage between social sector spending and HDI in individual states, and they have conducted a panel study. So, in that, they understood that there is a long run relationship between social sector spending and HDI in smaller number of states. And the results were there were certain limitations, but still the results were good enough to do a study. Then, moving to the analysis and interpretation part. So this is the summary statistics, or let me take into the variables that have been taken here. So for the study, so Human Development Index, as we all know, it's like a summary measure of average achievement in key dimensions of human development. Like it include a long and healthy life, being knowledgeable, and also having a decent standard of living. Then it's per capita social sector expenditure, which refers to the amount of money spent per person on various social services by the government. Then there is per capita NSDP, that is net state domestic product, which refers to the measure of the economic output per person with a specific geographic area or a state, etc. Then there is GER, that is gross enrollment ratio, which is the statistical measure used in the educational sector in order to assess the participation rate of any particular age group in education. Then there is life expectancy, as we all know, like it refers to the average number of years that a person is expected to live based on statistical data. So, moving to the significance of the relationship, I have conducted two analysis. That is, one is simple rank correlation, and also the one another is multiple regression analysis. So, simple rank correlation, it is just that the significance of the relationship between two ranks or two variables is determined by calculating the rank correlation coefficient, which calculates how similar two ranking are to one another. So, here we utilize the simple rank correlation, and as you can see, the finding reveal a strongly positive correlation between HDI and social sector expenditure. And further analysis shows that high rank correlation coefficient between HDI and sub-levels of education and health expenditure, highlighting education significant impact on human development compared to health spending. So moving to the next, that is the multiple regression analysis I've mentioned. So the study employed a multiple linear regression to analyze the relationship between the HDI and the factors, the dependent independent variables like per capita social sector expenditure, NSDP, life expectancy, and GER. So this approach aimed to
I'm sorry.
uncover this.
This is a gentle 1 minute reminder. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. So the unit root for the econometric analysis, the stationarity of variable is confirmed using the augmented Dicker-Fuller test, and the hypothesis of unit root is suggested to be rejected. And here we have find that there is there is stationarity at different levels. The variables have been taken. Also, co-integration testing was conducted to assess the long-run relationship, and the lag order was taken here as 1. So ARDL bound test was being conducted or evaluate the co-integration, and the co-integration was assessed using the ARDL bound test, and the results interpreted based on the F statistics value. So it shows that surpassing the critical value, it also conducted ARDL error correction regression model in order to confirm the test that there is statistical significance and a negative coefficient. Further, it supports a long-term relationship between the variables. So coming to the ordinary least squares, here we can see that the choice to analyze the variables in this manner was driven by the long-term relationship indicated by the co-integration. So due to the presence of co-integration, the R-square value of the high R-square value will not be subject to issue of spurious regression, which makes it more reliable. So the key analysis of the study is that Kerala's commendable HDI performance reflects advancement in healthcare, education, social, economic development, and all. And also from the analysis we have done, the 0.95 indicate R square value indicate that there is a high explanatory power of independent variable on dependent variable, and per capita social sector expenditure does not significantly drive human development in Kerala. It's probably because the state spending on social sector may be much lower than the investment by the private sector on education and health. And these were some of the suggestions of the study that we could do or we could improve, is that in district with low HDI such as Idukki, Wayanad, Palakkad and all, we can give where literacy rates are lower, innovative and cost-effective education delivery models play a very crucial role. So to optimize resource allocation and enhance human development outcomes in Kerala, policymakers should strategically prioritize social sector expenditure in high impact areas. So this means that this ensures that every rupee we spend should contributely affect to the overall well-being. And also to promote inclusive and equitable development, Kerala must prioritize policies and programs to empower the marginalized groups of our state, so that equal access to essential services are provided to people. To drive sustainable human development in Kerala, they have to look into a very rigorous analysis, and robust monitoring should be done, so that every rupee spent should effectively contribute to overall well-being of the country, and it should have a sustainable human development in Kerala, where effective or efficient spending is done. So the limitation and future scope is that due to limited data availability, we only selected a few variables for econometric analysis, so that acknowledge the potential endogeneity issue in the context of reverse causality and omitted variable bias present in the study. Future research is that we could conduct a very more exhaustive and complete examination of the correlation between social sector and HDI in additional Indian states. And we could do a panel data, and then that would give more precise and insightful results. These were some of the papers I've chosen, and thank you. Thank you so much.
What parameters you have considered for this sector expenditure?
So social sector expenditure, I have considered education sector, health sector, then rural development and social welfare also.
Okay, and what about the exact data size?
Data sites is that, sir, we have been taken data from Reserve Bank of India's handbook statistics of our Indian states, and also Kerala Planning Board and Development document. Then UNDP is also used, sir.
But what was the size of data? That is what the question is.
Size of the data set from 2001 to 2021. Duration of that.
1 to 20. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kartika. I would now like to invite the last presenter for the session, Ma'am Shailaja Lohar, to present a paper titled Threat Analysis and Attack Modeling for Identity Management Solutions. Do we have you here with us, ma'am?
Yes, I am there.
Okay, I'll stop presenting my screen so that you can
Yes,
present
sure.
yours.
My screen visible?
Yes, it's visible, ma'am. You may start to present.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, all. Very good afternoon to respected session chair, Dr. Nilesh Sabre sir. Myself, Shailaja Lohar, presenting a paper, Threat Analysis and Attack Modeling for Identity Management Solutions. The co-authors for my paper, Dr. Sachin Baba sir and Dr. Parishit Malde sir. So the flow of the presentation would be divided into 4 major blocks. The first one is the digital identity, which will tell us about traditional digital identity models and need for this particular threat modeling. The second part will be regarding which tool is used for the threat modeling, that is attack tree and attack matrix, which will give us the assessment of severity and probability of the risks. Third part will be the threat modeling for the present identity management systems. And lastly, mitigation of these threats, which will also tell about a strategy and a roadmap to a new solution. So starting with the basic, the identity traits in the real world versus digital world, which is very, very essential nowadays because everything we have is only in digital forms. So the claim proofs and attestations is an important part. For example, if I have an Aadhaar card, there is an issuer, that is the government of India, and verifier would be anyone who wants to verify my Aadhaar number. It can be a mobile operator, a bank employee, anyone. And whereas holder of the identity is myself. So these three are the important these three are the important entities in any identification. So this will be regarding to the real world. Whereas in digital world, nowadays if we see, if we are signing to any website or any service, we will be directly asked to sign in through a Google account or a Facebook account. So that is the way of digital identity, and it can be attested through third parties, that is Google, Facebook, and etc. So that is the real world versus digital world. So the identity management model itself was started from centralized, then it came to federated, and next self-sovereign. So the centralized model was where we had the credentials stored at a single place, and from there only the service provider would check our identity and verify whether it's the authenticated user. Then came the other models like federated and SSO single sign-on models, where across the domains our identities could be assessed by the verifiers. SSI I will keep for the last point because I will explain a small architecture related to SSI, which will also shed light on why SSI is important. So going forward, the attack tree modeling, the tools which we have used for threat modeling. So basically threat modeling, it's a process for identifying the potential threats or vulnerabilities to a system, and this is necessary actually for determining what mitigation strategies can we provide to give a strong security against such systems. So if we know what are the attacks, nature of the attacks, then we need to model them into mitigation strategies through a tool to assess these to assess the problems of these attacks and how to overcome them. So I will be using I've used the tool attack tree modeling. Attack tree is a graphical representation of various steps an attacker might take to exploit the vulnerabilities. Simple tree, the root of the tree is the purpose of the attack, and the nodes or the leaves of the or the children of the tree can be the methods through which it can reach to the goal, and leaves will be the vulnerabilities through which what will be the loophole in the system through which the attackers are going to go for the vulnerabilities. Now, and or which is there in this graph represents that either of the attack method can be used, and will represent that both attack methods will be used to achieve the goal. Then comes the risk matrix model. This will be derived from the attack tree. This will give us the probability and impact of the attack. Once we know the attack, we should also be able to assess to what extent this attack is going to affect our system. So risk assessment matrix is a visual tool depicting the potential risks affecting the system. So on two axes, on one, it will give us the probability in simple three levels it is assessed: low, medium, and high, as well as the impact again in low, medium, and high. So the severity is the probability, more the probability of the attack, the impact will be higher. This graph shows us how the probability and impact, okay, it is going through the low to the critical risk. Now we come to the first identity management model, that was a federated identity model. So the simple model tells us the user accesses the services by a service provider and gives the identity to a identity provider. It was a similar way in which you have an account, a digital account where you are storing your identity, and through that it is taken by your service provider and given to one who is going to authenticate you as a digital identity. Now for federated identity management, this architecture, the attack tree which was followed or the attacks which were reduced were brute force and farming attack. So for brute force attack, the probable vulnerabilities which we can see in the leaf nodes would be trial and error, dictionary attack, combination of passwords. Now to crack a weak password, okay, once we get the access to a weak password, the identity service providers barrier could be broken, and then either you steal a credential, weak password, or obtain the login, and you go forward to the brute force attack. Now probability risk matrix, it shows the probability of the risk. Then the farming attack and the spoofing attack. Again, for the farming attack, there were four vulnerabilities, that is malicious software download, redirect it to fake IP address, manipulate the mapping domain, and credential fake domain. So again, the DNS was very important over here. Why is very important over here? Because it will definitely store all the related data to number of users, and once it is that has been compromised, then farming attack is more easy. Then the spoofing, that is replication of the issuer host, and the email or website spoofing, which is very common nowadays. We can, once we are accessing the website, we can be sure it is an authentic website. Then comes the isolated identity system. In this, the user had service provider identity provider had a service provider individually for every identity they are proving. Okay, so in this case, what happens that the user is going to have multiple logins and multiple service providers. Then again, your overhead is there. Now again, for isolated systems, there was credential stuffing attack, phishing attack. So for phishing attack, the email phishing, clone phishing, and spear phishing. Whereas for credential stuffing, it was bot logins and bots were used for the credential stuffing. This was also a common way of attacking. 70% of attacks performed, which are attacking the websites, threats are through the credential stealings. Okay, so bots are used for these credential stealing. Then comes also the password sparing attacks, that is guessing of common passwords and keylogger attacks. Our key, the way we use our keys, the logs are maintained for whatever we are entering in our system. Once anyone gets access to those logs, the password sparing attack gets very easy. Then came the single sign-on systems, which we are using nowadays. Service providers, as you can see, it can be Google for the best example we can take, and an identity provider will directly verify the user from this service provider. For example, it can be Google. So the attacks for single sign-on would be the IDP down attack and missed logger. So man in middle attack, which is the most common attack, can be used and the users are locked out of their account. So that can be a vulnerability. Then authentication, malicious authentication and single point vulnerability. So single sign-on is definitely very dangerous. Why? Because once Google says that, or once your account from Google gets deleted, whatever causes it. So if Google says you don't have an account with us, then all the identities related through your Google account will vanish. So that is a threat from SSO. Then login access to account is another threat for which spoofing on fake users. Okay, that is most commonly used nowadays. We have many of these in the mobile apps too. So mitigation of these threats, the strategies were categorized as per the attacks. So for brute force attack strategies were which were for federated systems was multi-factor authentication, keep changing passwords for specific duration, and limited services for single credential logging. Then for farming attacks, it would be data encryption tools, strong firewalls, mapping in encrypted form, web application firewalls, and for spoofing, it would be validate the mails which we get before clicking any link. Then mitigation for farming would be data encryption, strong firewalls, encrypted forms, and authentication of user each time it accesses the issuer host. Similarly, for credential stuffing attacks, we would have a IAM platform to create stronger passwords. For phishing attacks, MIME extensions of mail can be used, and make sure not to click the untrustworthy links. Then for mislogout, the
This
CAPTCHA
is a
and
gentle
MFA.
1 minute reminder.
Yeah, ma'am. Similarly, for missed logout, IDP down, and login access to account. Again, there are several mitigation strategies which we have designed in this paper, which can see that the vulnerabilities are closed. Now, the issues and challenges faced by these traditional identity management systems were impersonation of individual identities, single point failure, privilege management, that is ensuring users have right access, level of access is challenging, and scalability with the use of growth of internet, how to scale these identity management systems, and very importantly, the identity governance. So addressing these issues and challenges in identity management model requires a combination of governance of these identities and personal data, as well as robust security, that in distributed data storage management. So self-sovereign identity is one solution which is very prevalent. It was a term coined by Christopher Allen, and which emphasizes on users' control over their identity. So the diagram shows us a simple concept where credential holder, when his identity
Sorry,
is
ma'am.
requested by employer, online shop,
I'm
or a
sorry, ma'am.
bank.
I would have to interrupt.
Yeah.
Can you please conclude your
Yeah,
presentation?
yeah, sure.
We have exceeded the time limit.
Yeah, sure, sure. So the future roadmap is to use the SSI framework, which depends on distributed ledgers, that is blockchain, one of the most secure technologies these days. So these are the references. Thank you.
No questions from my side. Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Uh, just a second. I think that concludes our presentations for the session. We do not have any more presentations for today. I would like to sincerely thank all our authors for their excellent presentations and contributions in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough. We, on behalf of the whole team, thank you for the support during this 8th version and all the previous 7 versions of the conference. We will be happy to have you in the 9th version in 2025 as well. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. Further, all the papers have already been forwarded to the Springer. The publication will be live within 6 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of ICTIS 2024. I would also like to thank our session chair, Sir Nilesh Sable, for chairing the session. And as a token of appreciation to Sir, we have a certificate for Sir and from the ICTIS team 2024 and Global Knowledge Research Foundation and partners. At the end, I would like to request Sir for any closing remarks Sir you have for the participants for the conference.
No, nice presentation by all the participants. It was really a learning session for me as well. Some of the new topics were identified and were discussed by the research scholars in a very well manner. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. At the end, I would like to request all the people present to switch on their cameras for a quick snapshot of the virtual conference. Yes. Okay. I'll take the screenshot. 1, 2, 3. Thank you all. Thank you for being present. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.